Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are really getting into it. We're looking at what has become, you really can't argue it, the biggest rivalry in the NFL right now, Chiefs versus
Oh,
Bills.
absolutely. It's way more than just another game on the schedule. It's kind of the gold standard for the AFC, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it really is.
And for this deep dive, we've pulled together all the latest info, everything updated right through yesterday, November 1st, 2025.
So you get the full picture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The full picture of this Sunday's huge matchup, focusing especially on, the main event, Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen.
Yeah, that QB duel is something else. And the history is, it's just piling up so fast. This Sunday, November 2nd, that's going to be the 10th time they've played since just the 2020 season.
10th time,
Yeah.
including playoffs, yeah.
It's kind of nuts, right? Such high stakes so often. It's not like some old dusty rivalry. This is happening now.
And it's so close. That's the amazing part. If you look at the record just in the Mahomes-Allen era, the Chiefs are up, but only just. It's 5-4.
Razor thin. 5-4. You couldn't script it better for drama, really.
Nope. And you have to remember how the last one ended to really feel the weight of that 5-4.
Oh, yeah. The AFC Championship game last season, Chiefs win at home 32-29. That was the game that sent KC to the Super Bowl.
Exactly. And you can bet those playoff losses are still front and center in Buffalo's mind. That's huge motivation.
Totally. Which kind of brings us to the real core of this, doesn't it? Like, yeah, the teams are rivals, but it feels like Mahomes versus Allen is the real story everyone's watching.
It is. It's the narrative. It's, Ali Frazier for this generation of NFL fans. That's what we're all here to break down.
Okay, so let's unpack that contrast, because it's fascinating. You've got Mahomes, who, well, he's got the legacy locked up already, right? 3 Super Bowl rings.
Mm-hmm. Proven winner on the biggest stage.
But then there's Allen, still chasing that first Lombardi trophy, but he's the guy who just won MVP.
Right, the reigning MVP. So you have this amazing dynamic, the championship pedigree versus the absolute peak statistical performance right now.
And the numbers back that up, don't they? When you look at just the 9 games they've played against each other, it shows they're both operating at an insane level, just maybe differently.
Exactly. They're both elite, no question.
Yeah.
But how they get there, maybe that's different.
Okay, walk us through those stats. What do they tell us strategically?
All right, let's start with Allen. In those 9 games against the Chiefs, he's been incredibly sharp. 24 total touchdowns, and here's the key, only 4 interceptions.
Wow, 24-4.
Yeah, and he's averaging about 255, 256 passing yards per game. But that ratio, 24 scores to just 4 picks, that screams control, discipline, avoiding mistakes when the pressure's highest against a great team.
That's incredibly efficient, especially against that Chiefs defense, which is usually pretty good. So how does Mahomes stack up against the Bills' D in those same games?
So Mahomes has 22 touchdowns, just slightly fewer than Allen.
Yeah.
But he's thrown more interceptions, 7 against the Bills.
Okay.
However, Mahomes racks up more yards. He's averaging almost 274 passing yards per game against them.
Huh. So that's a really interesting contrast right there. Mahomes pushing it maybe? Getting more yards, maybe more big plays downfield?
Seems like it. That classic Mahomes style, right?
Yeah.
Looking for the chunk play.
But that probably explains the higher interception number too, taking more chances.
Exactly. More risk, potentially more reward in terms of yards, but also more turnovers. Whereas Allen seems to be playing it maybe a bit more controlled, maximizing scoring, but really minimizing those costly mistakes.
2 different ways to be deadly, basically.
Played at the absolute highest level. And, given how close it is statistically, it's no surprise the teams themselves are leaning into the psychological side of it.
Yeah, our sources mentioned the Chiefs were all over social media. Was it Thursday, October 30th?
Yep, just this past Thursday.
Really hyping it up. Not just like a generic game promo. They called it a matchup you never want to miss. Put up a photo gallery of Mahomes and Allen. They know this is bigger than just football. It's entertainment.
It's pure box office. And speaking of the sight game, the things the quarterbacks themselves are saying before the game, especially heading into Buffalo, it really shows 2 different mindsets.
Okay, this is telling. Mahomes sounds like he almost likes being the villain on the road. He had that great quote about the hostile environment.
Yeah, he said something like, it's cool whenever you step on that football field and everybody's against you and you just have your brothers behind you.
That's classic Mahomes, isn't it? Like building that us against the world mentality, focusing on the team, blocking out the noise.
Totally. It's smart leadership, especially going into Buffalo where, let's be honest, they've crushed Bill's dreams before. That crowd is going to be absolutely insane. So you need that internal focus.
Definitely. But then you look at Josh Allen, and he sounds like he's actively trying to erase all that history we just talked about. Like he wants a blank slate.
His focus is laser sharp on the present. He basically said, uh, every game is different. Every year is different. Nothing that happened last year, the year before, or the year before that carries over or matters this week.
Hmm. Do you buy that, though? I mean, is that just what you have to say, or can you really block out losing an AFC Championship game like that?
Well, maybe it's like about literally forgetting and more about mental survival.
Yeah.
Mahomes can look back and say, yeah, we usually win these. He has that luxury. Allen needs to believe Bass doesn't matter, so he doesn't tighten up in the fourth quarter if it's close again. Feels like a necessary mindset for him.
Right. Can't play afraid of it happening again. Okay, so we've got the stats showing near parity, these intense kind of opposing mindsets. It makes sense that the experts, the analysts, they're all saying this is going to be
Oh,
close.
yeah. No one's predicting a blowout here.
Fair.
And the betting line reflects that perfectly. The Bills are favored, but just barely. It's, what, Buffalo minus 2.5?
Yeah, 2.5 points. That's basically the bookies saying flip a coin, but maybe lean slightly towards the home team.
Exactly. It's a toss-up. So let's dig into those expert predictions we look at. Some lean Chiefs, some lean Bills. Their reasoning is pretty interesting.
Okay, let's start with the pro-Chiefs arguments. What are they seeing?
Well, we've got a couple of takes from USA Today. Christopher Boombaka, he's pretty direct about it. He just says the Chiefs simply have a better roster than the Bills.
Just flat out better roster.
Yep. And he also throws in that, playoff seeding is really on the line here, so motivation is high for Kansas City.
That better roster idea is interesting. It kind of implies that even if Mahomes and Allen cancel each other out, the Chiefs' supporting cast receivers, defense, whatever, gives them the edge over 4 quarters.
That seems to be the implication.
Yeah.
But John Hoofling, also at USA Today, he also picks the Chiefs, but he gets way more tactical about why.
Okay, how so?
Hoofling questions if the Bills are truly, back to being that elite force. He points out that maybe in a recent game, say against someone like Andy Dalton, the Bills could afford to get aggressive, crowd the line of scrimmage.
Right, stack the box.
Yeah, stack the box, because they weren't too worried about Dalton beating them deep consistently. Hoofling argues they absolutely cannot do that against Mahomes.
Ah, okay. Because Mahomes will burn you deep if you give him single coverage back there.
Precisely. You have to respect the deep ball with Mahomes. You need safeties playing deep. You can't just sell out to stop the run or get instant pressure like you might against a lesser QB.
So, if the Bills have to keep their safeties back because of Mahomes, what does that open up for the Chiefs?
The run game. And Hoofling doesn't mince words here. He specifically calls out the Bills' atrocious run defense as a potential weak spot.
Atrocious. Ouch.
Yeah. So the thinking is, if the Chiefs can get even a little bit going on the ground, just enough to make Buffalo respect it, it stops the Bills from fully committing defensively to stopping Mahomes through the air. It creates a real tactical problem for Buffalo's D.
Okay, so the Chiefs' case is maybe a slightly better overall roster and a specific way to attack a key weakness in that Bills' run defense. Makes sense.
That's the core of it, yeah.
All right, let's flip it. What about the folks picking the Bills?
So we look at Jordan Mendoza, again, from USA Today. He's predicting a Bills win. He acknowledges the Chiefs are playing really well, calls them red hot.
Okay.
But he counters that the Bills are just as good. His argument seems to rely more on the intangibles and the context of the game itself.
Like what?
He stresses that this matchup always delivers. It's always exciting, always close. And he expects an incredible atmosphere in Buffalo.
And that Buffalo atmosphere,
Yeah.
you can't discount that, can you? Especially in this rivalry with all the playoff heartbreak Buffalo fans have endured against KC, that place is going to be absolutely rocking.
It's a massive factor. We talk about home field advantage. Sometimes it feels like just a couple of points, right? But here, with this history, that noise, that energy, it could be a genuine force multiplier for the Bills, especially for Allen.
Yeah, feeding off that crowd.
Totally. So the Bills' argument boils down to the teams are basically neck and neck in terms of quality, so maybe those other things, the home crowd, the raw energy, having the reigning MVP who's shown he can carve up the Chiefs' D before maybe that tips the scale. It pits Buffalo's energy against KC's supposed roster edge.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this all together. We've got this super tight 5-4 rivalry record. We've got Mahomes, the proven champ with the rings, maybe takes more risks. We've got Allen, the current MVP, playing with incredible efficiency lately. It's happening in Buffalo, which will be insane. The experts are split. It sounds like the game might hinge on who executes better against the other team's specific weakness. Like, Can the Chiefs run on that Bills defense, or can Allen stay mistake-free against the Chiefs D?
That sums it up pretty well. It's beautifully chaotic, isn't it? But hopefully now you have a much clearer picture of why it's chaotic heading into game number 10
Yeah,
between these guys.
definitely. And as everyone gets ready to watch this thing on Sunday, maybe we leave you with a final thought to chew on, building on what we just discussed.
Okay.
Christopher Boombaka made that prediction, the confident one. The Chiefs simply have a better roster.
Right.
But we just laid out how statistically close Mahomes and Allen have been head-to-head. Over 9 games, they're almost mirror images in terms of overall impact, just maybe different styles.
Definitely equal threats, yeah.
So the question for you watching at home is, what do you think will actually decide this? Is it that perceived roster depth of the Chiefs? Will their overall talent just wear Buffalo down? Or is it Josh Allen, the MVP, playing at home with that incredible atmosphere Jordan Mendoza talked about? Could that energy combined with Allen's current form just be too much for the Chiefs to handle on the road this time?
Roster depth versus MVP home cooking. Which one wins out?
That's the question. And that's the deep dive for this week. We'll catch you next time.